For this episode of The Life Lab, we have a very special guest where I spoke with Erika Sneyd, the Global Vice President and GM of Adidas Three Stripes Studios. Erika has built a distinguished career at the intersection of branding and commerce, adeptly guiding organizations from niche markets to global recognition. We recorded this interview off-site as the opportunity to speak with Erika was a very serendipitous one. I was taking part in a conference where Erika was speaking, and having heard her speak, I was blown away by her career and achievements in such innovative industries. She spoke inspirationally about the future of culture, commerce, and emerging technologies, and how brands can navigate these rapidly evolving fields to succeed. Having grabbed Erika for a few minutes as she came off stage, she very graciously agreed to take part in an impromptu interview to impart some of her pearls of wisdom for the Life Lab audience. We managed to secure a little room at the conference to film this interview, and I hope you get inspired as much as I did by Erika's deep understanding that the greatest brands are defined by their profound and passionate connection to community, as well as her honest and very generous learnings she shared from how she navigated her remarkable career and what success means to her. Enjoy the interview, and please give us a like or a follow on our social media handles to support us. Thank you. I am joined here today for this impromptu episode of The Life Lab with Erika Sneyd, who is the VP and GM of Adidas Three Stripes Studios, and a very esteemed person in the world of Web3 technologies too, for what she's achieved. So I want to start off, Erika, thank you first of all for doing this.
Thanks.
And just tell us a little bit about yourself and your background.
Yeah, of course. This has not been a linear path getting to the seat to sit on the general manager role, leading a brand new business unit for Adidas. But what I'm doing today is helping the brand monetize how it brings to life products, collectibles, NFTs, as well as in-game skins and content through monetizing the IP of our brand and everything we've had for the 75 years of Adidas being around. What I've had to do in order to get to this position, though, is I've worked in business development, I've worked in marketing, I've worked in product marketing and in brand marketing, and I've done this for
Many years.
Many years. I'm over 20 years probably working for technology companies like Google, accelerated tech like Uber. Probably some of the most formative experiences that I lean on today the most is my time at Sony PlayStation, where I led the global launch for the PlayStation 4 and really helped to establish a platform strategy for immersive gaming and immersive entertainment experiences. Prior to that, also leaning in a lot of emerging cultures like action sports. And this is before action sports was like as big as it is now. But back when I was at Toyota marketing to youth to try to get them to become the buyers of tomorrow's vehicles, when they turned 16 and get their driver's license, we were at surf events, skate events, BMX events, motocross and supercross events, and we were helping to embed brand love within youth culture.
That's amazing.
And so I'm pulling from all those different experiences now. And finally, probably the other one I also still pull from is my time at PayPal.
Okay.
Where we launched cryptocurrency inside the PayPal app for millions and millions of users all over the world to get a digital wallet and start to interact with digital currencies.
So Erika, you have been, part of the leading teams for some really groundbreaking stuff when it comes to, integrating new technologies into, obviously with startups or new companies like PayPal, but also with legacy companies like Adidas.
Yeah.
And I can imagine, people don't like change, and you must have faced a lot of skepticism around trying to convince, legacy brands to adopt these new technologies. How did you navigate that sort of skepticism or, disbelief in the future for these technologies?
Yeah, I think the hardest thing to change when you're trying to implement something completely new, and trust me, bringing Adidas in to do the first ever NFT drop before any brand had written a playbook.
That's
in an organization, if you look at our board, they're pretty set in their ways. And the mind is the most difficult thing to change.
Definitely.
But I do it through storytelling. And the first thing I do is to try to show everybody what the end goal can be. And I make sure the end goal is communicated in a way that's their goals. So really need to start by first understanding what's the business trying to achieve. And you can get that by reading financial reports. If they're public, those are going to be quarterly financial reports are going to be disclosed. If the company has a 5-year business plan or a 10-year business plan outlook, read that, digest that, start to learn the language of how they speak about the organization. And then come to them with a story of how you supercharge that plan. Don't come to them with something that is adjacent or tangential, because it's just distracting. And you all know how, if you work in a corporate organization, we're inundated with slides and PowerPoints and presentations already.
That is so
The
true.
last thing we all need is another one of those. So if you could just take the story that the company already is trying to achieve and extend it, or show them how you make it go faster, that is a winning formula.
That is really good advice. For like across the board for lots of people who are trying to implement change in their companies or with their stakeholders. And it's really interesting to hear about your background, and the what you've achieved is remarkable, especially as a woman in a predominantly what was, when you were coming up, a male space. And I'm interested to know, did you have a kind of plan for your career, or how did that, like, did you have a roadmap? I want to do X, Y, Z, or how did you end up, navigating your way through such incredible positions in the massive companies you've worked for?
I think natural things that have come to me is I'm quite courageous. I'm quite ambitious. What I think is different when I say that I'm courageous, I'm willing to take risks. When I say I'm ambitious, I want to achieve big things. I want to unlock value for myself. But more importantly, I grew up playing collegiate sports. And I still refer back to the team mentality all the time. And it's all about bringing other people on this journey with me. There was a manager that told me, Erika, when you show up in these rooms, always make sure if you're in the room, you show up, you add value. And so I make sure that I'm showing up and adding value in the rooms that I'm in, because that then unlocks opportunities like networking that can become the next job that you get. Or, wow, you really said something in that meeting that makes me believe that I should invest more in you, or that you might be able to take this project that I don't know how to crack yet, but maybe I empower you to go figure out how to crack this. I've not interviewed, I've not formally interviewed for some of these big roles that I've received. I've been pulled up by people in senior positions because I'm showing up and I'm adding value. And I'm also ensuring that when I'm talking about transformation, I do it with passion. I'm convicted. But another thing that you need to learn is how to share and spread that conviction courageously through stats, through facts, through figures, through anecdotes, especially anecdotes that executives can use in hallway conversations, so that you make them look good. Because the most you can do to accelerate your career is to make the people that can pull you into these spots look good.
That is so true.
Yeah.
That is true. And never outshine the master. That's what, make sure you make them look good.
One of the things that people have also applauded, that I think some of the kids that have worked for me in the past, I say kids, they're now senior directors and on their paths to be VP, but they'll post on LinkedIn. I think there was a saying that I had told someone once, which was if someone's coming and wants to do your job or take project from you, learn how to onboard them to your team. Get them to do the work for you, scale the work. I call this term kingmaking. So if we're doing a project together, Siobhan, and we're working together, when we're out pitching this, I'm going to give you all the credit. And when you're in the room, I'm going to sing your praises. When you're not in the room, I'm going to sing your praises, because that's going to come back around and be well, Erika's actually did this, that, and the other. Other people will kind of sell your story on your behalf when you find out how to recruit them, make them part of your team, get them to feel like they're a central hero in your storyline. And so I continue to try to do that and impart my team to do the same.
And then they want to work harder for you.
And then they want to work harder for you.
Yes. You share the success and give them recognition.
Exactly.
Yeah. That is so important.
Yeah.
And Erika, you mentioned a little bit about your old boss giving you that advice.
Yes.
Can you share, even just in your life, and if it's relating to your career, or if there's one that's related to your career, what is the best advice you ever received?
In the very first company I ever worked for, I was the executive assistant. And don't underestimate being an executive assistant.
Oh my God, sometimes they're the most important.
Because the exposure you're getting to the C-suite and the comms and
you've got their ear.
You got it. And also, like, you can be exposed to so much in those small settings. So I was the EA of someone who ran the research and development division of a motorcycle company.
Okay.
And at the time, we decided we wanted to start our own business and brand under our own kind of R&D innovation pipeline. And we were part of this big holding company. And luckily, the guy who was the chairman of this holding company, he thought we were up to really cool stuff. He could tell we were doing things unconventionally. He could tell we were connecting with the youth that were going to come in and be tomorrow's buyers today. He could tell we were bringing fresh blood and fresh innovation into the space. And he happened to be the first CEO ever of Burton Snowboards. And I don't know if you think about disruption and disruptive technologies and transformation, talk about disrupting ski and talk about disrupting like a really traditional sport by bringing snowboards onto a mountain and then establishing that as the cultural norm to what it is today. And he imparted something on me very early in my career. He said, Erika, you got to go fast and take chances. And I was like, God, that's in my nature in a lot of ways. And that's also something that I continually rely on. And it's sometimes a feeling, like you feel that nervousness in your stomach when you're pitching something or you got an idea that feels like it gives you chills in your body. And you're like, there's something here. I need to pursue this. His advice, go fast, take chances, is pursue it now. Just don't wait for it to start to establish itself into a product. Don't wait for like product market fit to be super clear for you and the business plan and the revenue plan to fall perfectly in your lap because it's never going to happen.
No, it's never.
But the only other piece I've added to that through the years, because I was early on, is I've added go fast, take chances, and hold hands. Because the higher you get in your career, it's less about you being a high performer. It's more political. It's more about your ability to create and protect and leverage lasting relationships. And so you need to learn how to bring people on this journey with you so that when you're going fast and going fast and taking chances and you trip up, people are there to pick you up. People are there to cover for you. Or you go fast, take chances, but you want it to be credible and you need it to be legitimate and you want to bring the organization with you because that's going to be what unlocks this transformational value. You got to bring everybody on that journey. And so that's the motto I use now. Go fast, take chances, hold hands.
And when you're going fast and taking chances, you must have faced some big challenges. How did you can you give us an example on how you overcame it?
Yeah.
Anything that comes to mind?
Oh my. I mean, let's just talk about like there's always naysayers, right? Anywhere you go, there's going to be blockers, people that just don't believe, people that don't want to hear it, or the ones that the line I hate the most is, that's never going to work. We've tried something like that before. Context is king and queen. Like context changes too. We're constantly in a world where everything is evolving and changing. You do not have to take that no for no.
That is so true.
And so I have also learned how to go around those blockers. And if you're a no, I'm still going to come back to you because what I hear is not no. I hear not yet, or I'm not ready. And so I hear, cool, you need more education. Or, okay, cool, there's maybe some other technology or some other, let's say, dependencies that need to come to market in order for you to think that this is a winning plan. Or, hey, maybe you need a case study, or you need me to show you some other adjacency industries who've done something like this before so you can start to wrap your head around it. Or, maybe we're going to go get some interviews. We're going to like pilot this thing in something small internal only so it's low risk. So you can start to see like how this could play out. Just those no's, just hear them as not yets.
That's a great advice for people, especially coming up in their career, just to persevere, have some grit and keep going and show people, find another way to communicate with them. Erika, I want to ask you, what, after all you've achieved, which is remarkable, what does success now mean to you? How do you define?
I want to live a chill life.
You're not there yet.
We're still working. Look, I think success to me is time with my kids. It's time with my husband. It's deep conversations exploring crazy philosophical ideas about what could be in this crazy transformative time that we're living in. It's success to me is getting to sit back and enjoy the arts and the foods and the fashion of other people at the pinnacle of their game, trying to push their spaces forward and getting to be exposed to art and music that's like really challenging the cultural norm and, you know, pushing boundaries. That to me is what success is. I don't know that I can put a number on it. I want to put a mindset or a state of being on it. So things that I'm actually doing, because I do think this is a transformative time. And I am at a point in my career where I've done a lot, but I still feel like there's so much more to do. But I think what I'm doing now, because while I've achieved a lot, I still think there's a lot I want to do. I don't feel like I'm resting on my laurels, right? Because you're only as good as the last thing you've done. And like time moves fast and attention span is over. So I'm actually now making sure, am I eating healthy?
Yeah.
Am I creating a gratitude practice?
Sleeping.
Am I exercising? Am I sleeping? And so that's another piece is like, I'm starting for the first time ever to really take care of myself.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's just been a journey I've started this year with 2 kids. Like I'm late, but I hope if this next generation gets the memo and starts to habit stack these healthier lifestyles, and they are, it's like they're not drinking as much, like they're getting off of social media and know that that's causing anxiety. I think that's another piece is like success to me now feels like am I just grounded?
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's such a good answer. And that is so important. Like, you know, the sleeping, the exercise, the diet, and taking care of yourself. Because then you can, you know, perform better and achieve more things. Like, you know, you can't burn the candle at both ends.
No, and I've done that.
Yeah.
Trust me, it sucks because then you got the burnout and then it takes over. I mean, I've had burnout where it takes over a year
And
to get me to come back.
It eats you alive.
Yeah,
Like,
it really
does.
can.
So that's a brilliant answer for that one. Two quick last questions. Number one is, what advice would you give to 20-year-old Erika before she'd done any of all the things that you've achieved? If you could talk to her if she was sitting beside you today.
I think I still have this little voice that that kind of holds me back sometimes. And this might sound crazy because I've done a lot of transformation in big companies. But I think what I would tell her is, don't be so worried. It's going to end up fine. And certainly drop this concern right now about what other people are going to think, because they don't know what to think. Quite often, 99% of people want you to tell them what to think. And so they're looking at you, wanting to just soak up the wisdom and the energy and the passion that you already have about the space that you're in. So live in that. Find that flow for yourself. Live in that. Don't be concerned about the periphery and what other people might think, because what people really want is to see you shine and to see you thrive, because that is going to, like, light attracts light, you know?
That is so true.
Yeah.
That is so true. And last question, Erika, what are you most proud of?
Oh my, I think I'm really proud that I've had this very unconventional career path that has given me the ability to go have crazy wild life experiences. Like my first football game, NFL game, was in the skybox of the Cowboys with the owner. My first basketball game was on the floor seats of the New York Knicks. I've been to Sturgis motorcycle rallies. I've been to Super Bowls. I've been in really crazy rooms with very interesting people. And so I think just getting to fully experience the human experience. I've had a baby recently, and I got to take time out to really focus on that and have a baby. And like living in Germany, it allowed me to sit back to really have that human experience. I think, and I'm still learning this, but I'm proud that when I have gone for something, I've gone all the way for it. And I think that the world rises and meets me when I show up. Yeah.
Erika, those are some powerful insights. And really,
I have chills. I'm like,
yeah, I mean, I just hit my mic, but that is like gold advice. And I'm really grateful that you are willing to share it.
Yeah.
And I really hope that people are going to hear it, and some young women or men as well coming up in their careers can elicit some of that wisdom from, your hard-earned career. So thank you for sharing. And thanks for doing this today.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
you.